Hello everyone, my name is Mark Froilan Jason Dragon, and I will be here to discuss the ESCI, or the Emotional Social Competence Inventory. So before we discuss that, we should understand what is emotional and social intelligence. That is, emotional intelligence is the capacity for recognizing our own feelings or those in others, for motivating ourselves, and for managing emotions, and for managing emotions effectively in ourselves and others. Uh, an emotional and social competency is a learned capacity based on emotional intelligence, which contributes to effective performance and work. Measurement of emotional and social intelligence. Uh, the Emotional and Social Competency Inventory is a 360-degree survey designed to assess 12 competencies that differentiate outstanding from average performers. The ESCI measures the demonstration of individuals' behaviors through their perceptions and those of their raters, making it distinct from measures of EI that assess ability or personality preferences. So, as you can see with the diagram here, the emotional and social competency model should cover four distinct areas of ability, which are divided into four parts, namely self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. So, as you can see, there is a illustration. I feel angry. Mm. Ayan. Each emotional social competency is carefully defined so that uh, it is distinct from the others, easy to comprehend, and it properly summarizes its behavioral indicators. The definition of each competency is as follows. Uh, and self-awareness, again, self-awareness or emotional self-awareness, self-management, emotional self-control, the ability to keep disruptive emotions and impulses in check and maintain our effectiveness under stressful or hostile conditions. Achievement orientation is striving to meet or exceed a standard of excellence, uh, looking for ways to do better. Positive outlook, the ability to see the positive uh, in people, situations, and events, and our persistence in pursuing goals despite obstacles and setbacks. Adaptability or flexibility in handling change, juggling multiple demands, and adapting our ideas and approaches. Social awareness is divided into two parts. Empathy is the ability to sense others' feelings and perspectives. Taking an active interest in their concerns and picking up cues to what is being felt and thought. Organizational awareness is the ability to read a group's emotional currents and power relationships, identifying influencers, networks, and dynamics. Relationship management is divided into five parts, like such as influence, the ability to gain positive impact on others, persuading or convincing others in order to gain their support. Coach and mentor, or you know, to coach and mentor, the ability to foster the long-term learning or development of others by giving feedback and support. Conflict management is the ability to foster, rather, to help others through emotional or tense situations, tactfully bringing disagreements into the open and finding solutions. All can endorse. Inspirational leadership is the ability to inspire and guide individuals and groups to get the job done and to bring out the best in others. Teamwork is the ability to work with others towards a shared goal. Participating actively, sharing responsibility and rewards, contributing to the capacity of the team. Uh, the education version of the ESCI or the ESCI-U is adds an additional two two competencies to cover areas of cognitive uh, ability relevant to the performance of the students in further and higher education, which are systems thinking and pattern recognition. Um, the emotional competency inventory, which is the earlier version of the ESCI, measures 18 competencies. These are broadly the 12 measured by the ESCI plus accurate self-assessment, self-confidence, transparency, initiative, service orientation, and change catalyst. As a result of an ongoing statistical analysis, the behaviors captured by these 6 have been integrated within the 12 ESCI competencies. So let's discuss the development of the ESCI. The Hay Group has pioneered the understanding of work, organizational context, and the role of human motivation, competencies, and self-image in performance and development. Hay Group's McClelland Center, found as McBurr by David McClelland, maintains strong relationships with key research partners to further this understanding. Uh, as shown below, here are key events in the development of ESCI. I'm not going to read all of that, but I'm just going to flash it right here. Bing. Okay, that's enough. Measuring competencies measuring competencies in preference to intelligence. 20 years of research initiated by McClelland in 1973 with his seminal article Testing for Competence rather than Intelligence led to an understanding that competencies provided a reliable way of differentiating performance in a variety of organizations. This work was captured in the Hay-McBurr Generic Competency Dictionary and provided the basis of Boyatzie's Self and External Assessment Questionnaire, developed to analyze and developed and analyze the competencies of certain individuals. Measuring emotional intelligence and the development of the ECI was established when Boyatzie's measure and Goldman's working with emotional intelligence around 1998. They developed a pool of items designed to capture the full spectrum of emotional competencies. The full spectrum of emotional competencies. Together with Hay and McBurr, consultants further refined these items to form the emotional competency inventory, or as of the Hay Group 2006, drawing upon expert opinion and prior studies to include developmental scaling and targets. Target levels were established through a modeling process in which the behaviors of effective and outstanding performers were differentiated. The levels of behavioral complexity that each group demonstrated revealed tipping points along the competency scales. These points became indicators of strength, target levels for those participants wanting to work towards high performance across the ECI, and that's it. Uh, yeah. Measuring emotional and social intelligence. In response to the professional research communities, requirement for high psychometric standards, Boyatzis and Goldman reconceptualized the ECI as a measure of emotional and social intelligence competencies. They reviewed every item in competency scale, applying factor analyses and revisiting them as necessary to ensure that they identified specific behaviors and were understandable and concise. This resulted in fewer competencies, such as, was what I've said kanina, 12 instead of 18, and replaced the ECI algorithm based on developmental levels with a measure based on consistency and behavior. The new instrument resulting from this work, the Emotional and Social Competency Inventory, was piloted with a total of 116 participants and 122 raters in the US and the UK. The psychometric standards achieved in the resulting statistical analyses provided reassurance that the ESCI focuses on observable, recognizable, and distinct behaviors. The removal of developmental levels delivered a behavioral model which can be applied more satisfactorily to a wide range of work contexts, job roles, and levels. Further detailed analyses to verify the scale and factor structure of the ESCI with 5,700 self-assessments and 62,000 other assessments. Has further improved the factor loading, resulting in version 2 of the ESCI with slight changes to the items. Choice of EI measures. The outcome of these developments is that there are now a choice of instruments. While the ESCI has attained an even higher psychometric standard than the ECI, practitioners can choose between the ECI or the ESCI according to the needs of their clients and the context they are working within. The following table can help you work through this choice. Okay, so the EI assessment has grown during this period of development. The use of both ECI and the ESCI has grown internationally. Hay Group's clients include business organizations, education institutions, researchers, and independent consultants and coaches. To date, around 160,000 EI assessments have been processed over 3,000 clients. So let's discuss using the ESCI. The ESCI can be used by practitioners for assessment and development by researchers for studying the role of emotional intelligence in learning and performance. ESCI feedback can benefit individuals and groups in different roles and in a range of contexts. In organizations, at a group level, in business, not-for-profit, and public sector organizations, the ESCI can provide valuable data about human resource and capability. It can be used to establish workforce strengths and developmental needs. Repeat use of the ESCI, that is, for example, retesting every 2 years, and it enables organizations to respond quickly to capability issues. At an individual level, the ESCI, often combined with coaching, can help leaders and key contributors to determine what outstanding performance means for them within their role and decide which competencies they want to work on. The ESCI is not intended for use in administrative applications, uh, that is selection, promotion, salary decisions, and so on. Uh, each, each competency measured by the ESCI may or may not be relevant to a specific job. Therefore, it is inappropriate for use for administrative purposes without first validating it against the performance requirements for that job. In addition, the collection of 360-degree data can be problematic when respondents or participants and other raters know that assessment is being conducted in relation to these administrative issues. The ECI is best suited to development. The range of competencies that it measures is broad, providing feedback that participants can interpret of their work context and their wider view of their own personal characteristics. In education, students' emotional and social competencies can be measured using the ESCI-U, the educational version of the ESCI. This assessment is widely used in colleges and universities by educators who see EI competencies as the building blocks of students' capacity to understand and work with others, understand and motivate themselves, and learn effectively. Some institutions have used the ESCI as an outcome assessment across the student population. Others have used it to help students become more self-aware and engaged learners to help teaching staff to respond more to students' needs. In research, we welcome research proposals from those using the ESCI staff or the ESCIU with students. If the proposal meets the criteria, copies of the assessment will be distributed. So, I'm taking too long. That joke. So let's discuss how the ESCI is scored. The ESCI data is scored against a frequency range. Respondents are asked to assess the behaviors captured within each item of a 5-point Likert scale, ranging as follows. Never, rarely, sometimes, often, and consistently. Each rater perspective is scored equally and averaged across the relevant rate group. That is direct report, peers, and so on. The total other score for each competency is the average across all raters groups except the self. The ESCI also uses norm data, allowing individuals to compare their scores to those of other participants. This approach gives a broad perspective on how they are behaving across a situation, as perceived by the different individuals and groups with whom they interact. Use of self-assessment scores, the ESCI, is intended to be used to gather 360-degree feedback data. Self-assessment data alone may be useful as the basis of developmental discussion, but they do not provide valid and reliable measurements of emotionally and socially intelligent behavior. Our findings show that there is often a significant difference between self and other ratings. People high in self-awareness tend to have smaller gaps, according to Caruli and Com, circa 2003. And the higher a participant's level in the organization and the lower his or her performance, the more self-rating tends to be inflated. So with this, we should use valid data, and in using valid data, it is important to recognize that not all the data collected may be usable. When the instrument is scored by Hey Group, we data is discarded from a rater if the number of do not know responses exceeds 25%. The rationale for this is that the higher if the higher level of don't know responses appears to indicate that the rater does not have enough information to accurately assess the participant. We therefore recommend that the participants choose raters who they work with on a regular basis or who know them well. To preserve raters' confidentiality, it is also insisted on a minimum of 2 raters in each rating category. If there is only 1 rater in a category, that category of rater is not included in the final scores. Rater categories can also be combined to preserve confidentiality if appropriate. Finally, securing an accurate assessment of a participant's emotional intelligence requires multiple raters. Each rater sees different aspects of the participant, which means any one individual's ratings may be skewed. It is recommended to have a minimum of 4 to 5 raters, preferably with different perspectives of the participant drawn from different contexts. So with that, I would like to pass the microphone to my partner, Mr. John Paul Dilawangan, and have a nice day.